Hello, everybody. Today, as you've probably read the title, we are going to be ranking the smashability of each JoJo Tycoon stand. We are going to be leaving out specs, but other than that, everything is on the table. Alright, let us begin. Alright, now we have Star Platinum starting us off. Now, I might not be gay, but as an impartial judge, I will be ranking them where I see fit. Now, for Star Platinum, I have to put Smash. It's not an instant Smash, we'll get to those later, but I feel like Star Platinum reliably sits in the Smash tier. Up next, we have Star Platinum Requiem. Now, I would put it in Smash, but I honestly prefer the design of the original Star Platinum more. So I'm gonna put it in Smash, but below Star Platinum. Up next we have The World. Now, I like The World too, it's another classic, but I just can't see myself putting it above the original Star Platinum. Um, I'll put it above Star Platinum Requiem, but it's still below the original Star Platinum. Now we have Shadow of the World. I'm gonna have to put it in debatable. I honestly can't see myself putting it any higher because it's missing half of its body, which is a big factor. Now we have one that's surprisingly good. The World Requiem. Now, I'm gonna put it in Smash, but I think I'm gonna put it above the original Star Platinum just because I like the design more. Alright, now we're getting into the ones where their abilities start to matter. Hierophant Green. Now, I'm not a big fan of the design myself, but the abilities alone are enough to give it a place above the World. Alright, now we're getting into the ones where their abilities start to matter. Hierophant Green. Now, I'm not a big fan of the design myself, but the abilities alone are enough to give it a place above the World. Silver Chariot. I'm sorry, but that's going to be a hard pass. It's just so metallic, and it has a sword that's just not going to be good to work with. Now, on the other hand, Silver Chariot Requiem is getting a smash, because an arrow is much more manageable than a sword. As well, the soul swapping, you can get up to a lot of shenanigans with that. Now, we have Magician's Red, which is in a not good position, where normally I'd put in an instant pass, just because of the head, but there are some pretty bad stands here, so I'm going to have to put it at the very bottom of hard pass. Alright, continuing on, we have Death 13. Now, normally I would put this in instant smash just because of its ability to give wet dreams, but the user in the anime and manga makes me very worried, so it depends on the user. It really depends on who's using it, so I'm going to put it in debatable. Now, Crazy Diamond is interesting because its ability would be very useful in this kind of situation. So, after some further thought, I'm going to put Crazy Diamond in Smash, and I'm going to move the World down to debatable, because I just like the World Requiem more, and I feel like I can't have it there in good faith. Alright, now, the hand is interesting, because its ability either makes an instant smash or an instant pass, because erasing space and pulling is amazing, but erasing space and erasing something on you would probably be pretty bad, so I'm going to have to put it in mid-tier of debatable. Now the hand, or Requiem, on the other hand, I'm going to put in Smash, just because of the fact that it has much more control over its ability, meaning no mistakes would happen, and I'm not as worried. Alright, now Heaven's Door is an instant smash. Not because of the stand itself, but because of its ability. Being able to write any command on you is just so many possibilities. Just so many. Now, Star Platinum The World is going to be in the same tier as Star Platinum the original. It's just going to be one lower since the design is ever so slightly worse in my opinion. Killer Queen is the first stand you can say as a motif, with that being a cat boy. And I can't put it in Smash, just because I feel like that's a little odd. But I will put it at the top of Debatable. And I'm going to move Shadow of the World down to the very bottom of Debatable. Killer Queen Bites the Dust is in the same boat, but it just looks scarier. And because of that, I'm going to have to put it right below Killer Queen, the normal one. Gold Experience is difficult because I don't like it as much as Star Platinum or Crazy Diamond. And its ability would be useless since creating animals is almost all it can do, and I am not going down that route. So I'm going to put it in Debatable, right below the hand. Gold Experience Requiem is an instant pass because you will never reach climax, you will be infinitely edged. And personally, I don't want that to happen. My personal favorite stand, Sticky Fingers. Now, I could think of a few things you could do, but it's honestly not anything crazy. So I'm going to have to put it right below Crazy Diamond. Now, this is a literal plane. I feel like it's obvious where it's going. Another one that should be obvious. Purple Haze is an instant pass. I am not getting melted. Now, Metallica, instant pass. I feel like any colony stand is just impossible to work with. And, I mean, if you look at this picture, you can already tell. King Crimson doesn't really bring anything to the table, as Time Erasure is just going to skip the best part, and Epitaph is gonna look really weird. So it's not an instant pass, but it's gonna be a pass. On the other hand, King Crimson Requiem fixes the issue of Epitaph looking really weird. As well, its abilities are even further advanced, meaning it could probably unlock something that would make this even more pleasant. So I'm gonna put it in Smash, but I can't put it that high. As one of the only female stands, I have to put Stone Free in Instant Smash because I'm not gay. Alright, because this video is getting a little long, I'm going to end it here. If you want to see a part 2, just send a comment or like the video or even subscribe. It shows that you want to see this kind of content, no matter how odd it might be. And I hope to see you guys next time.